The reason Han Solo died was because Leia and Luke were separated at birth. Don't believe me? Then you better stay and watch this entire video. When Anakin turned to the dark side of the Force, became Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Senator Bail Organa determined that the safety of Anakin and Padme's children were compromised as long as Vader could locate them. So, to protect them, the group split up the siblings and kept them under the watchful eye of future supporters of the rebel cause. Leia and Luke were both raised in homes where they were the only child in the family. One of the offspring of Vader became a Jedi, and the other child was the cause of the downfall of one of the greatest smugglers in the galaxy. Leia suffers from only child syndrome, which is a variety of generalizations made about the personality of children who grow up without siblings. The science behind the ideas are not extremely solidified, but scientists have done research and have experienced large numbers of only children firsthand. In an article by Vice.com, Dr. Tony Falwell from the University of Texas Austin and Dr. Carl Picard, who is a therapist with years of experience with families and who wrote a variety of books on the subject, were interviewed about single children and their personality and social skills. They explained the kids tend to be self-confident, self-motivated, and they're used to looking out for their own self-interests. Only children are usually interested in a few select, very close, good friends. In addition, when children are put into groups at school, what you find is that the leader of the group is the only child. To prove that Leia has only child syndrome, we would need to find examples of all of these traits in the Star Wars movies. First, she is very self-confident. When Leia is apprehended and is confronted by Darth Vader, she mouths off to him as if he was a misbehaving animal. Leia is also a very motivated person. When she's being rescued from the Death Star's prison cell and the group is pinned down by stormtroopers, she does not wait for Luke, Han, or Chewie to come up with a plan, but instead forges her own idea on how to escape and immediately steals Han's blaster. Finding an example of Leia looking out for her own self-interests is a bit more difficult. In Return of the Jedi, Luke is leading the charge and escaping from Jabba's sail barge over the Pit of Carkoon. Luke is able to get on top of the sail barge to redirect the guns to blow up the ship after R2-D2 breaks Leia free from her chains. All of the guards had left Jabba's quarters to attempt to take down Luke, so inside, Jabba had been susceptible to danger, and instead of leaving Luke to blow up the sail barge that would kill Jabba, Leia takes her chance to kill him herself after humiliating and defiling her in his palace. She kills him not to protect anyone, or in self-defense, but because she hated him, which shows she did act with her own self-interest in mind. Throughout the majority of the original trilogy, Han, Chewbacca, Luke, and the droids C-3PO and R2-D2 are Leia's close companions she becomes very invested in. Lastly, and the easiest point to show, is that siblingless children normally choose to be leaders when placed in groups. And in The Force Awakens, Leia is the leading general of the resistant forces against the First Order. So she definitely is a leader. Thus, it is easy to say that without a doubt, Leia has only child syndrome. But why does it matter if she has this syndrome? It matters because when you analyze Leia's life as if she was looking out for her own self-interests, her story doesn't seem to be a tale of a hero at all, but a villain. Leia's motivations are to better herself, which could stem from her being an only child, which grows in her craving power and positioning herself to be the most powerful person in the galaxy. It is not Kylo Ren who will complete what Darth Vader has started, but instead it'll be his daughter Leia. Leia was adopted in a royalty on the planet Alderaan, so we can assume as she grew up, she was quickly given power and a luxurious lifestyle. After receiving everything Alderaan had to offer, Leia probably realized that the galaxy was a much larger place than just her planet, and she craved to have more influence, so she looked to become a diplomat similarly to her adopted father, Bail Organa. With the help of Organa, she was able to become a senator in the Imperial Senate. Leia felt content at that moment with her power in the galaxy, obviously because she could influence any other planet she desired, until the Senate filled with rumors of the Emperor's plans to dismantle the Imperial Senate. Emperor Palpatine and Grand Moff Tarkin believed they could control the many systems with fear from their new battle station. Leia could not stand the fact of being stripped of her power and looked to a new means of restoring her original position, or find something better. To destroy the Empire and create a new government which she could become a leader of, she turned to a group of individuals who Bail Organa supported economically, the Rebellion. With the help of the rebels who rescued her from the Death Star and the fully formed Rebel Alliance, Leia led the group to victory in the Galactic Civil War and created the Republic she had envisioned. It seems that Leia freed all the citizens of the galaxy from Imperial rule to better their lives, but in reality, she hoped to be able to rule over the people she freed. At the same time as the creation of the New Republic, Luke Skywalker had become a full-fledged Jedi, and now was the most powerful being in the galaxy with no one to oppose him. Luke and Leia were close, but she still considered him an uncontrollable variable in her reign in the New Republic because of his secretiveness. We know Luke was not the best communicator because of his difficulty telling Leia she was his sister, and his ability to abandon all of his companions after Ben Solo turned to the dark side. So Luke has obviously proved himself to be a loose cannon. Leia longed for someone she could manipulate within the new Jedi Order. Leia realized her offspring would be powerful in the Force similarly to herself and her brother, so Leia determined her future child with Han Solo could be that manipulated person in the Jedi Order. Their children was named Ben Solo and became very close to Leia because they had very similar upbringings. They both grew up as only children and were born into riches, which allowed them to understand each other's motives. Both child and mother were leaders through upbringing and did what was best for them, and that always meant being allies. Over time, Ben grew more powerful as he was being trained by Luke Skywalker. As an only child, Leia grew up easily receiving what she requested, and since the New Republic functioned similarly to the Old Republic, then we can assume the New Republic also ran just as ineffectively as the Old, which must have infuriated Leia. Anakin, Leia's father, despised the processes behind the Old Republic, so it makes sense that Leia would feel the same. She eventually came to the conclusion that to better the galaxy, she needed a new government that could take action and achieve the legislation she envisioned in shorter time periods to actually benefit citizens of the galaxy. Leia searched for a way to handle the change of government until she discovered a new, weak force that could eventually oppose the New Republic, the First Order. When Leia found Snoke in the early beginnings of the New Order, she could have kept them a secret with her high rank in the military of the New Republic and her respected position in the New Republic. If she wanted a new form of government, a new tyrannical, empire-esque enemy would be the perfect way to destroy the New Republic without losing her public opinion and status. She could have assisted Snoke in the First Order economically to build the Starkiller base, and with her strong relationship with Ben, she could convince Ben that Snoke's training of the dark side would be much more advantageous than the teachings of the Jedi. Why wouldn't Ben want to be just like his super powerful, feared grandfather Darth Vader? Siding with Snoke allows Leia to wash away the New Republic and allow Ben to be trained in the dark side, all from one alliance. Here's a piece of evidence that supports Leia's alliance with the New Order. If Leia was the general of the Resistance, which was created by the New Republic, wouldn't it make sense for her to be stationed in Coruscant at most times? It seems very convenient that Leia would leave the Republic-controlled planets that were home to all the New Republic officials just prior to their destruction by the Starkiller base. I, and most other people, can guess that by Episode 9, Leia and the Resistance will most likely destroy the New Order, and after completing his training, Kylo Ren will destroy his former master with the help of Rey. This idea also fits into this theory. Without any other Republic officials left, and her praise as the general who destroyed the New Order, Leia could easily put herself in position to become an all-ruling Chancellor or Emperor to the galaxy, and at her side will be her fully trained Sith Lord protecting her. She would not care if Luke trained a group of Jedi to oppose her. Kylo Ren has the Knights of Ren, and she has the support of the galaxy. It appears from the perspective of the newest trilogy that Leia will help save the galaxy by destroying the New Order, but in actuality, she orchestrates everything to become the new leader of the galaxy. This villain story parallels that of Syndrome in The Incredibles. Kill off the competing powerful people and defeat another opposing force the original villain created to receive praise. But why does Han need to die for all of this to happen? It is because of how Ben pictured his father. Over time, Han began to see Leia bringing her son down a dark path and hated what his son and his lover were becoming. Han tried to be a source of stability and comfort for his son and cared for him greatly, but Ben was always being pushed by his mother to be stronger and more powerful. Ben grew up seeing his home divided. His mother represented power, control, and was someone he related to, while his father represented the light side and compassion. Ben respected both of his parents because they were the ones who helped him be able to train with Luke in the beginning of his life, and he only had them to rely on because he was an only child. Han was the only person who could turn Ben away from the dark side, and Leia knew that. Han was the primary person who stirred confliction within Ben, which led to Leia realizing he needed to be destroyed. She attempted to kill him through dangerous smuggling gangs, like the ones Han confronted on his freighter when he met Rey and Finn, but all of the attempts had failed. When Leia and Han finally came in direct contact with each other after so many years of not seeing each other, she knew this was her chance to rid her son of the pain and confliction he dealt with because of his father. When Han volunteered to venture onto the Starkiller, where Leia knew their son would be, she uses her tuned Force abilities to persuade Han to confront Kylo Ren if he saw him. Han Solo is not influenced because he is weak-minded, but instead because his guard was down when he was with Leia again. When Han sees Kylo on the base, he instantly goes towards him without question. Kylo Ren knows this is his chance to rid himself of the darkness. Ben finally made the decisive decision to join the dark side and murder the man who could bring him to the light because of the opportunity presented by Leia. To recap, Leia was separated from Luke, which allowed her to take on only child syndrome. Because she had only child syndrome, that also meant that she craved power, and when the Empire was destroyed, she needed someone to be able to take on Luke Skywalker. So, when she finally had her son, Ben Solo, she needed to bring him to the dark side, and the only person that could bring him to the light was Han Solo. And because Han Solo was the only person who could destroy Leia's plans, Han Solo was killed. Thus, you can conclude that Han Solo died because Leia and Luke were separated at birth. Now, I just want to make it clear that these are not actual facts. These are just my observations, and I combine them into this theory. If you have any adjustments you would make to this theory or new evidence, please post your ideas in the comment section. Now it's time for the Star Wars trivia question of the day. Last week's question was, what did Luke hope to pick up at Tosche Station? The correct answer is D, power converters. Since this episode is mainly about Princess Leia, I decided I would create a question on her. How old was Leia when the second Death Star was destroyed? A, 19 years old, B, 27 years old, C, 25 years old, or D, 23 years old? If you think you know the answer, then please post your guesses in the comment section. If you'd like to see more Star Wars videos, then please like and subscribe. If you have any questions on Star Wars you would like answered in a video, or if you have your own Star Wars theories, please put your thoughts in the comment section. To follow me on mediums beyond YouTube, you can find my links to Twitter, Facebook, and Google Plus in the description. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.